Hi, I'm Vishal Rain. In this video tutorial, I'll be covering the shading part of this antique rum bottle. I've used some images, smudge and grunge images, and I've used some procedural texture to achieve this. So I'll take you through this process. So right now what I've got is a simple scene here with the bottle. The modeling and UVs of this model has been done in the earlier videos. You could refer to that videos. Right now, what I've got is a simple background model. It's like studio setup, and also I've taken a HDR image with the studio HDR setup here, and I've got a light, area light. I've just kept simple light. In area light, the color intensity is very simple. I've not touched anything in this. And in shadow part, if you could see, it is ray trace shadow with shadow rays of 32. And in render settings, in color management, enable color management. Input profile is set to linear sRGB, output profile is set to sRGB. And in indirect lighting, I've used that HDR what you have seen there outside. And also in final gather, I used final gather option with diffuse bounces set to 2. And I just assign a simple shader to it. So what you're seeing is very simple soft light setup here. I'm assigning a shader to it, preferably MIA material X passes. You have got MIA material X, MIA material X passes. The difference is MIA material is a complete shader, but it doesn't have this X, which is bump and standard bump and overall bump. And MIA material X passes has got passes option also. If you go to render passes, you can achieve passes. So I'll show you the difference. Firstly, I'll take this MIA material. In MIA material, you have everything in it, as I said. But if you just go down to bump, you could see no diffuse bump. So there is no bump in it. But if you just go to the upgrade shader and say upgrade to MIA material X, it means you're changing your MIA material to MIA material X. What it does is it generally gives you this overall bump and standard bump. And if I generally upgrade it to MIA material X passes, you can get that output in passes also. So I've assigned this MIA material X passes to the bottle, and let's see what we get here. So it is very same output what we have got earlier, but this has got little bit glossiness in it. Fine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this transparency option, make it transparent here. So you get a normal transparency here. With the index of refraction value of 1.40. For glass, I would prefer somewhere 1.55. For a thick solid glass, even 1.6, because this is very old rum bottle, so I just want it to be a little bit more thick. And if you could see, the glass is very much clear or without any tint in it. So I just want some tint in this glass, the tint what you generally see. Okay, so I set the index of refraction value to 1.55, and we have got this advanced refraction underneath. Enable use maximum distance and use color at maximum distance option. And let me open hypershade. In textures, I've got this ramp. Okay, I've got some yellow and aqua color here. I'll be plugging this texture into the color at max and set the max distance to 2. So you got this. and this particular texture has got sampler info earlier connected. I'll delete it and show you how I did the connection. Generally, if you plug this normal ramp, the ramp will be projected on the bottle based on its UVs. But if I generally take this utility called sampler info and connect it, sampler info, to the ramp, phasing ratio of the sampler info will be connected with the V coordinate of V chord of the ramp here. What does that connection mean? Generally, you are trying to shade the bottle based on the faces facing towards the camera, away the camera. So if I generally have a look, if you see in this bottle, in the center you got yellow, on the edges you got this aqua green. Sampler info was doing this. The faces which are seeing towards the camera are shaded yellow. The faces which are facing away from the camera are shaded with aqua green. So the color which I've picked here was quite intentional. I rather prefer white here on the top side, and on the bottom side I want aqua. So I could generally get that nice thick solid color there, nice aqua color on the sides and clear glass in the center. That's very simple, and even there is max trace depth. Defaultly you will have this value 5. I would suggest to go with 8. Bigger the number, the more thick the glass would look. So that is the option here. Okay. The next thing I would like to talk about is the color and transparency. Transparency and color, what you're seeing are two separate options, but they work same way. These two get multiplied and then connected to the transparency of the shader. So here if you keep 0 transparency, you got opaque, and even in color you take the black, you get the opaque thing. So these two are multiplied with each other and then you get the transparency. So that's the reason is if you want to tint the transparency and you want to control the amount of transparency, you got two separate things to do it. So it's a good thing. So I'll use some textures here which I'm going to plug it into the color, and these textures I'll be using to get that old look in the glass. So let's see how I can work out. So before connecting that, we'll just have a quick look on this result on what we have got with this ramp connection with white and aqua color. Then we'll just see the texture part in the later video. Okay, that's output what I've got here. If you feel the reflections are very strong, you could always go and control the reflectivity also. So I'll be showing the texture part of this bottle in the later video, in the next video. Thank you.